well-known Lethbridge landmark is making another kind of mark in the province. It's topping the list of the top 10 engineering marvels in Alberta. The province's professional engineers called APEGA, now let me get this right, they're called the Alberta Professional Engineers and Geoscientists. So they are putting the list together, and the iconic bridge right here in the Windy City tops that list as the top structure to visit this summer. Joining me is Braund of Tourism Lethbridge. Stephen, welcome. So tell me, how did this top 10 list come about? Did you contact APEGA or vice versa?
You know, they put together a list of incredible engineering achievements and reached out to us to find a bit more information. So this wasn't some kind of marketing coup on our part. I think they just recognized that the bridge here is awesome. It's an incredible piece of engineering.
Okay, so tell us then about this incredible engineering marvel that is the high-level bridge in Lethbridge.
We think of bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge and or maybe the bridge in Sydney in Australia. I mean, these are engineering marvels that sort of define their city, and I think the high level bridge in Lethbridge does the same thing. It just a local maybe can take it for granted because you see it almost everywhere you go, whether you're going across Whoop Up Drive or in the River Valley. But we have frequently visitors come in and just ask about it because it really is just gobsmackingly big.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Stephen. So what are these visitors asking you about specifically?
A lot of people who, they might have heard that there's a bridge here, but just curious about it. It's not like we necessarily celebrate it as much as we should, I think. So the Lethbridge Viaduct, which is also known as, is it's in an age where everyone's taking selfies on Instagram, it's the perfect backdrop. And I would recommend heading down to Helen Schuler Nature Center. They have a rooftop garden, great place to get that in the background. Or the Galt Museum also has some great paths leading out from it. And if you want to see something really interesting, check out the archival photos of the bridge under construction. It really puts it into perspective of how big it is when you see the individuals on top of it as it's being built. It's an impressive sight.
Yeah, so what makes it such an engineering marvel? What's the history behind it? Give us some stats about it. Who built it? How was it built? What year?
I'll give you a few stats.
Okay.
I know it was started in 1907 and I believe completed in 1909. Over 11,000 tons of steel were used in its construction. It is incredibly big, as anyone who's ever walked around it or even just drove by it knows. It's over 1.6 kilometers long and just under 100 meters tall. So I think that's about 5,300 feet long and 300 feet tall. So it's big. My understanding is it's a CP property and they're the ones who maintain it. I don't know a whole lot of the details about what that is, but clearly a lot of work goes into it. And our climate, it's pretty impressive that something that's over 100 years old is still functioning. Every day trains are going over that, and between the wind and the winters and the summers that we get here, they do a great job of maintaining it. And for safety, people should never be hanging around there. It's obviously beautiful to look at from a distance, and quite frankly, it's so big you need to be at it from a distance.
Yeah, it's a marvel, that's for sure. So if people from outside of Lethbridge or out of province can't get to the bridge in person to see it, but they're still interested in checking it out, is there information available online somewhere? Where can they go to see photos and stats about the bridge?
So we do on our website have a couple of pages devoted to the bridge. One is under our Explore Major Attractions. We have the bridge, and then we had a more detailed blog post that we did as well with some of those details that I was mentioning and probably forgetting some of the important facts there. And there are some archival photos that the Galt Museum and Archives generously are letting us use. So yeah, I would recommend people check out our website, tourismlethbridge.com, or go to the Galt Museum's website as well.
Well, thanks so much for all the interesting information, Stephen. And by the way, some of the other Alberta structures that made the cut include the Glacier Skywalk in Jasper National Park, Icefields Parkway outside of Lake Louise, and the Bow Tower in downtown Calgary. To see the full list, visit APEGA's website at apega.ca. Well, that's our show. Please join me again next week for another edition of Alberta Weekly. Have a great week.